know what it is, man. It ain't Saturday, but it's Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, we waiting for my boy Bloody Nux. You already know we got a hot show, hot topics. And yeah, we gonna get into some ass. No Diddy! But we about to tear it up in these streets, man. Yo, listen, man. When I be saying shit about people, people be like, yo, Lynn, why you do them like that? No, why you do yourself like that? Listen, man, we about to get into the show. Let's get it cracking. You already know what we doing out in these streets. We only tell you what you need to hear, and we preach those facts. So let's get it cracking.
Yeah. It's him. You're now tuned into the dopest. It's him. Wanna wait, drag, and stay in the latest fashion. You think it's a game till we start clashing. War zone where I'm from, bullets like magic. 2K on your head, that's a backseat. I could put a E&D to all you lanes, whether outside or in the crib. On the game, limit tech with the best system. PlayStation for the staycation, Nintendo Switch for your wisdom. A new level, whatever you want, you been on it. It's only one way to support it. Binge on it, never lag. Whip your ass with hella swag. Keep a cigar lit, I'm the victor with the class. You thinking you can toy with limit tech? Well, you boys been how you breaking your joystick? Who been feeding you poison? If you in your fort tonight, tune in to the Brooklyn Night Forecast and 108 Dragons.
Finish him.
Shield is down. I'm in position and ready for immediate assault.
Negative, Commander. Not against a ship that size. Not on your own.
Sir, permission to leave the station.
For what purpose, Master Chief?
To give the Covenant back their bomb.
welcome, people. Welcome, chat. Yo, we got a new silver member in the building. Hold on. It's hold on, let me get it up. Let me get it right. Hold on, let me click on the screen over here. Got 100 screens. It's Twank 8984. Welcome to the Silver Dragons. I see you in the building, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate everybody pulling up, man. You know what it do. We got one more coming. Shout out to my boy Cray Cray in the building. I see Deadly S, Deadly S with that. Hit that like button. And with that being said, you know what it do, man. You know what it do. You know what it do. We back, man. Yeah, listen, man. You gonna get some free media smoke tonight, man. Now Gators do a lot of smoke before. We gonna no fuck that kumbaya. I don't care if my friends rock with these dudes, but we gonna have a great show. Bloody Knuckles is officially on the line, but not home. So you gonna hear his voice, and you ain't gonna see no video until he get in the crib. Shout out to Deadly X, man. Let me tell y'all something, man. This the shit that I be talking about with the game industry. Number one. Number two. I always keep it official tissue here, man. I don't know how to be a goddamn fraud. And I know one thing when it comes to these topics, we get right into it, we get a little spicy, but we definitely keep it raw, real, and rugged. But you know what's crazy, man? We're not gonna start the show quite yet. My man Bloody Knuckles is driving home. Yo, bro, what's good? How you been? What's popping? What's cracking with you? What's good?
What's good with you, baby? You already know it's your boy Bloody Nux, aka the Mad Dragon, the Dirty Mouth from the Dirty South. You already know how I do. It's good to see everyone as always. And like you always say, there's a show that's always got to go. So even if it's me and you, or you run a solo dolo, whoever we got, I was like, we got to make it work. Whether we in the spot or we not, I was like, got to keep the train on rolling, baby.
Facts. Now let me ask you a question. What you been playing? Did you start streaming back? You know, we came back from that nice little vacation. What have you been doing since? And what's been in your arsenal of games?
So ever since I got back, right, I was like, I've been working on trying to knock out some stuff that I was doing before I left. You know, for all the people that have been watching, I've been playing through Motor Slice. I was like a very unique little action platformer that I've been all over. Obviously, finishing up one of my horror games from my friends over at Malformation. Shout out to the Ground Zeroes team. And of course, while we was there, you know, we saw a lot of great games that just released demos that your boy's about to be all over. Obviously, Onimusha is on my list of things I'm going to be covering. I was like, I've been all sucked into Path of Exile too, because, you know, I love myself an old school dungeon crawler, and got some other big things that we got. Of course, all my PC people knows that it's Steam Next Fest, and there's a lot of great games that are going to be on console later this year. I was like, that I've been showing off there on the PC front. So, you know, I'm doing a little bit of everything and anything. You know how it is with my love of all genres. I think you muted, bro.
Oh, I am muted. My bad. Sorry. We don't get into these wonderful weekends of gaming, but I wanna know. Thank you, music. I wanna know what y'all been playing in the chat. Let me know what y'all been playing. But I'm gonna tell you what I've been playing. I started Gears of War Reloaded. Yeah. I know. We done played it a million times over and over. But you know what? Gears E-Day got me so excited. I threw Reloaded to the wolves. I said, yo, man, I don't really want to play this Reloaded. Been playing Gears since day one. The remakes, the remasters, the different system updates. But you know what? The love for that game came back, and I swear to God, after playing that Reloaded, man, I said, damn, I said, yo, this game was ahead of its era. So with E-Day being out there, you know, I got my code. I posted that August 6th beta. You know what I'm saying? I bought that collector's edition for $300 something. I don't know. They say Xbox people don't buy games, but whew, I can't tell by that Forza 6 work. Like my man Craig Simmons said, my man Craig. He said, I'm playing Forza 6 and Halo 3. Woo, that's a nice little gaming situation right there. You know what I'm saying? Now, with that being said, man, so we gonna move forward. Shout out to the chat, man. I know there's multiple people streaming right now. My boy P Lump is streaming. My boy Deadly X was over there. Shout out to Deadly X. My boy Wiseau Gamer streaming. But you know, we are streaming tonight on a special situation. We not gonna be here all night. But I'm gonna say this for the record. Shout out to everybody that pulls up and support the channel, because without y'all, there's no us. Yeah, your boy Lemon got another big one coming. I'll be at the Game Awards this year once again. Woo! I'll be at the Game Awards, giving you my live reactions. And you know, I took a lot of footage in the background of Summer Games Fest, IGN Live, Fan Fest, and I really didn't post a lot of my work. So I said I was gonna leave it for the members, but being that I didn't really do what I was supposed to, because I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I work a lot. And I had to tell my brother King, man, I'm gonna get to that super chat in a minute from my brother Jay Mizzy in the building, but I'm gonna say this for the record, man. Shout out to my Iron Lord brothers. Shout out to my brother Hip Hop Gamer. Shout out to Boom. Shout out to K Asante. But I'm gonna say this for the record. I started this trail of being a content creator 2016. I started my podcast 2 years ago. I enjoy my growth, but I'm gonna say this for the record. I'm a one-man wrecking team. Yo, my Iron Lord brothers, they doing 100 interviews, but they got 100 people working for them. Hip hop got help all over the days. His crew he brings with him to LA, Boston, Redmond, right? Everybody got a goddamn crew of dudes. And I always tell people, this channel's funded by me, it's sponsored by me. Every piece of hardware I have, I purchase out of my pocket. I work hard, man. So anytime I do videos, capture footage, do developer interviews, which I love to do. Being that this was the 25th anniversary of Xbox, and I want everybody to understand this, because King kind of got on me, and I was like, nah, bruh, I'm a civilian this trip. I'm a civilian. And he looked at me and was like, I said, first of all, let me say this for the record. I love you. You want the best of me. I know that. I said, but this gonna be the first trip that I'm not working. I said, I do 170 to 180 hours every 2 weeks. A brother is tired. I just want to go out there, celebrate this great times of Summer Games Fest, IGN Live, and Xbox 25th anniversary. I just want to sit back and soak this shit up like a sponge. Shout out to Spartan 6616 in the building. I just want to soak it up. Now, if that's a little selfish, after 10 years of being in this building, I took one day off or one weekend off, then fuck it. Because I was like, your brother's tired, man. And he looked at me. At first, he had the crazy eye with the eyebrow raised, like, what the fuck? So I said, listen, bro, after all the work I've been doing, I know I was out on comp 3 years. I said, I just want to be a civilian. I just want to enjoy the festivities, because technically, I'm going to tell y'all something that y'all probably don't even know. All these shows I go to, in the last 10 years, I might have played 10 games. Even at PAX, I was working. I played one game out of all those interviews. He-Man, because I'm filming and I'm interviewing. So where do I have time to play the game and I got to jump to the next interview? I just want to give y'all a perspective of what your boy Lemon be going through. It's a lot of work. It looks fun. It looks amazing, right? But it's work to do interviews, running from point to point. I'm going to tell you right now, my boy Cognito, I didn't really get to see Cognito too much in LA. He was all over the place. And King is his cousin. I pointed to King and said, that's who I don't want to be this weekend. And Cognito said, yeah, you're right. I said, I need a break. I help them with their content, equipment. I do all that shit over there too. I need a break. So yeah, I took a lot of footage, man, but I didn't put up what I was supposed to. So I will be putting it out. It may be a little bit after the fact, but you're still gonna see some behind the scenes. So I'll definitely be putting it out. I feel like I need to explain myself to my people who support me, who support us here. So that's how I felt when I got to California. I wanted to take a break. I ain't even bring the camera equipment that I usually brought. I bought the smallest setup that Bloody's ever seen in my life, or his life when it comes to me bringing tech. Because usually I got the bag full of goodies. You need a camera? I got you. You need a memory card? I got you. Wait a minute. I got 2 extra goddamn tripods. Bing, bing, bing. Microphone setups. I'm always Inspector Gadget. It's facts. But listen, man, let's get to this. Let's get to this super chat from my brother, J Mac, the MVP. MVP of the hour. That's my boy. And he another one I needed to meet out there in that great situation of gaming. J Mac says, shout out to 108 Dragons, Lemon, and the panel. Salute, gentlemen. Great Bids is in the building. Xbox World Order is in full operation. Shout out to you. Let me get that, as P Lump says, the titty lady. We're gonna have to name her, man. I'm gonna have to name her. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, Bloody. We might have to come up with a name. Paris.
Well, let me ask you this.
Wow.
we gotta know what the nationality is. We gotta know what flavor she is before we come up with a name.
Yo, Paris, I'm gonna tell you now. You know your boy Lemon keeps it real. I'm gonna have to throw your man Greg Miller on the screen tonight, and I'm gonna have to throw Jez not all the way under the bus, but he's getting hit by 2 tires out the 4. Let me just put it out there now. I respect people's opinions, but the doom and gloom, the negativity, the making stuff up, and shout out to Destin.
Yo, Destin's a real one.
Shout out to Destin, man. Great conversation with my God, but I'm just warning you now, Paris. I'm telling you now. It's not going to be bad, but it's definitely going to be like, woo. But you was there for that rant. You was there for that rant. And he said disappear.
Hey, tell Paris that right now is his where he can take that plausible deniability. He don't know nothing. He don't see nothing.
Yo, listen, man. Yo, first of all, I'm a 10 toes down type of dude, but it's not gonna be no disrespect. We don't do that here. Only to certain people, but I ain't gonna disrespect either one of them dudes. They do a lot of great work too, but
facts.
Sometimes when people say shit, you gotta be like, nah, bro, that ain't it. That ain't it. Yeah, he kind of went too far. But let's get into these topics, man. Bloody will be on camera. He's still in traffic, but he is here in spirit and voice only. So now, I want to talk about something that's absolutely insane. Now, I'm not really with the console war shit. I really buy every console. I love gaming in whole. I do think games need to be gatekeep to for me to buy all these systems. I gotta have a reason to buy you. If your games is everywhere, we have a problem, because I'd rather buy one system and just still support all the damn games. But, it is what it is. But I'm going to say this. Last week, like Paris says, Xbox has no games. But, that's been a slogan for a very long time. Now, E-Day, and we had these conversations, I said exclusive. They didn't buy Reloaded. They didn't play online. They didn't support the game. But they have started an official petition for Xbox games. Now I'm like, are you serious? Wait. Is this really what we doing? Like, first, Xbox has no games. You don't support them. Y'all buying Force off the chain. Y'all playing Sea of Z's. Kraken is lacking. Y'all actually playing these games. Now, it's either Microsoft got games or they don't, because you seem to be buying into certain games. Not all games. A lot of games flop. South of Midnight, I don't understand how Ninja Gaiden 4 didn't do well on PlayStation. That was always a universal game. But anyway.
Because they can't handle a real challenge.
But I just want to say this. Bloody. Let me ask you a question, man. The nerve, the audacity of the PlayStation community to start a petition to play E-Day when they didn't support Reloaded, the foundation of why E-Day exists today. Talk to me. How did you feel about this whole petitioning of we want the game?
My feelings on this is absolutely in the double standard hypocrisy that stands from, not, I won't say all PlayStation dudes, but it's the vocal minority of PlayStation dudes who are on social media like Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all those ones who complain. And it's just like you said, we gave y'all, I was like, well, really, the last regime of Xbox gave y'all these games that y'all bought up and was all over, even though y'all said they were trash. Xbox didn't have anything y'all wanted. Yet when we got games like Starfield that had an entire petition to get on the platform, they're like, why is that game exclusive? Then we had games like Outer Worlds and even South of Midnight. Yeah, it didn't sell, but there was clamoring for it and all this other stuff. Y'all keep saying y'all don't want these games and that they're not good, yet y'all complain when y'all don't get them. What is the point? Games on there that y'all say aren't good because y'all talk shit about Halo for how long? Almost 20, 30 years? And now suddenly when it is on your platform, I was like, y'all are not all over it or anything. Y'all talk about it, but y'all ain't being about it. Y'all got Forza, a better racing game than y'all got. I was like, and y'all over that. I was like, the fact is that y'all had one of the best cover shooters and really the one that helped made competitive gameplay a major.
People, you got to excuse me. I know he's driving. He's driving on his way home to get home to do the podcast. So if he bought out a little bit, just please excuse Bloody for botting. And he might be gone. So listen, let me say this for the record. Let me say this. Let me really say this. I was one of the old heads, and I ain't talking about the business side, man, because I know people got to thrive. People got to sell games. The gaming industry is definitely screwed up. We're looking at a lot of, shout out to Bulldog for Wolf. We're looking at a lot of companies being closed, shut down, which we're going to talk about later. Hold on, Bloody. Don't come back because you had went out for a good minute. So I'm going to say this. This is all I'm going to say. For Xbox to survive, right, they need to sell games. They need to make it a business model where their man, Bloody Mike is crazy. So they need to have it where they're making money, right? Generating revenue. All I say is, and this is gatekeeping a little bit. The franchises that the Xbox community built, the franchises that the PlayStation community built, the franchises that are built by Nintendo and their fan base, which I'm part of also. I think those games need to stay on a platform that is where they're grown at, right? And y'all could disagree with me, chat, or let me know how y'all feel. But I really feel that if a game, they really didn't support Gears at all. So why it's an easy decision not to put Gears over there. Now, Clock Knight Revolution is something different, right? That's a new IP. But if you want people to buy in the Helix, we're gonna get into how you're gonna pay for that later. We're gonna get into exclusives being back, thank God, because I'm not mad at Sony. If you take your games off PC, I don't really care. I got a PlayStation. But I'm gonna say this for the record too, for those people out there that's screaming exclusives. A lot of you free-to-play people are killing the game. A lot of you service-driven people are killing the game, which they'd rather have you in the service in droves because they're going to make more money off you subscription-wise. That's why Dating Apps is subscription, 365 is a subscription, DaVinci Resolve, Filmora, your editing programs are subscriptions because they want that. They rather have that consistent monthly fee than you go spend $75 one time. You want it done the game. they don't get no more money out of you. So subscriptions is the way to go in the current ecosystem of life right now. But for the PlayStation fans to petition a game that's on Xbox is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Y'all didn't support the first one. When I saw those sales of Gears, I said, y'all wouldn't know a good game if it slapped you in the face. And it definitely slapped you in the face, and y'all still didn't buy it. But once again, Sony is struggling to sell their own first-party games. Now, I'm getting feedback from you, Bloody. You in the house? Okay, hold on. Hold on. Your mic is loud and you're giving a lot of feedback. Let me get you in the show, number one. Let's do this. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm getting this late guy, traffic guy. There was an accident where he was at. But let me get this guy in the show so y'all can see him, so y'all can believe him. And one click, where you at? There you go. Boom, boom, boom. Paste. So that's all I'm saying. Like, I'm definitely with having exclusives for every platform, not just Microsoft, not just PlayStation. I want every platform to have something that draws you to those platforms. Because if you just gonna have your games everywhere, I don't need to buy all these systems. I could save an extra $800, $900 with the next PlayStation 6 and Xbox, or Helix as we want to call it. I could definitely save money. I don't have to buy both. If I could buy one box to rule them all. So, Bloody, you were saying you bought it out a little bit at the end. Finish up so we can move on.
Yeah. Like I said, it's just one of those things. It's just like these dudes was asking for years or hating on these franchises for years. And then when they came, they were all excited and all this. And then suddenly they stopped talking about them. But every time they get a game that's not going to their platform, they want to go all crazy about it, right? I was like, but whenever they got games that is exclusive, they get all excited, whatever. But as soon as that goes to other platforms, suddenly it's no longer a good game. These people, these goblins, these creatures, right? They don't have an opinion because their opinion is ass because of the fact that it's wishy-washy more than the fucking dryer at the laundromat, right? Because of the fact that it goes one way and then the other. They constantly change in their opinion every time simply on where it is and where it's not. Like you said, they don't know a good game if it bit them on the ass because y'all got the cover shooter that defined the genre and made it a competitive sport, a competitive esport, literally one of the competitive shooters out there that built up this whole industry. And y'all didn't support it. Y'all didn't want it, even though it had one of the best stories that still lasts and can stand 20 years later. And now y'all are complaining when they decide not to give y'all the next one. Nah, y'all can kick rocks with that.
All right, let me get to this member chat. Yeah, he says, "Have a great show, Lemon. Xbox is on the rise to number one. Shout out to you, bro. I appreciate you for that. Yeah, you listen. They could really move. They could really move in the right direction if they continue this course because they have been successful. And let me get the Spartan 6616. Shout out to you with those 5 gifted memberships. You already know what he do. That's my boy Spartan 6616, man. Absolutely great to have you here. I see Double 24 was good with you, or Double, CJ Doob, LU. Shout out to the people, man. I ain't never seen these names before. Ross Cold, welcome to the show. Always Big Daddy. I will never say your name again. Never. I'm not calling you that. I will just say always is in the building. Shout out to that, man. And he received those memberships, man, from my boy Spartan 6616, one of the best supporters on the channel, and several others, man. But listen, man, we're gonna keep it pushing. With that being said, let me pull out this real quick, man. No Diddy. Hold on. Where's it at? I gotta make sure because a lot of these are the same color. Boom! We got it right. Let's get into the nitty gritty. PlayStation CEO Hideki, I ain't gonna mess your last name up, on PS5 games releasing on PC. He says, from the start, we have determined the platform selection based on the characteristics of each title. If releasing on PC, maximize the gaming experience for that title. We will continue to consider it. So, I'm going to say this with that first part of that statement. I'm going to say this. They ruled it out. And they want to take their games, not multiplayer, but the first party experience that are single players. Now, this statement definitely backtracks on what the possibility of them putting games on PC is, right? He's basically saying case by case basis, right? If a game is not going to sell on PlayStation, they will consider putting it on PC because from the latest statements that came out in the last 2 hours, it is stated that Sony took their games off of PlayStation due to lack of revenue. Now, I told people this. This is the same concept I said with Gears, Ninja Gaiden 4, South of Midnight, things of that nature. I said, if they're not selling, why put it there? Now, like I said to my boy Paris, I said, yeah, Gears E-Day exclusive. I don't care what nobody say. I stuck to that. Been saying it for over a year. They're not getting it. They're not, since Reloaded came out, I said, they're not getting it. They're not getting it. And because they didn't buy it. So why port it? I know it's not an expensive port. Yo, that's your background? Bloody yes. You got to mute your mic, bro, or whatever you're doing. It's coming through the mic. So I said this.
Okay, bye.
Listen. There's no reason to port it if you're not going to support it. There's no reason to. I don't care. It doesn't make sense. It's like the Knicks won the championship. They're not selling Spurs jerseys in New York. By no means. So nobody's going to buy a Spurs jersey. Even though I'm not a Knicks fan and the fans in New York really disgust me during the parade, before the parade, the wins during the season, during the championship run. But I ain't going to even get into that. Shout out to Talos who just pulled up in the building. And Cold 8270. Shout out to y'all, man. So appreciate that. But I'm gonna say this too, man. This is a strategy that might work for them, but this is not back in the days where first party drove huge sales. You know, what's this game? Oh my God. Helldivers 2 did astronomical numbers. Yes, they shot themselves in the foot by trying to make people sign into PSN accounts and all these things. But God of War didn't do well on PC. Spider-Man didn't do well on PC. They just didn't. If you combine all those games, all their first-party releases, Dead Rising. Oh my God. What's the zombie game? Somebody help me in the chat. Yo, shout out to my man Steel. What is the zombie apocalypse game in that I really like? Damn, I can't even think of it. Days Gone. Thank you, music. Days Gone, Destroyed, Last of Us, God of War, Spider-Man, and I think Ghost of Yote too, combined. It destroyed them by itself. People like Days Gone. I thought Days Gone was a dope game. So Sony is a billion-dollar company. They understand what's going to sell and what's not going to sell. They see it, but it just shocked me that God of War and Spider-Man did so poorly on PC. And you could say, yeah, they didn't put out the games when they was hot, the FOMO. But damn, to do poorly is something else. Your Bloody, you back? I don't know what Bloody doing. Bloody's in and out the show. Shout out to Genesis fan. Seeing you in the building. Do I think what was a good game? You gotta tell me what game. Or are you talking to me? You know I like to answer the chat, especially when you're a member. But I'm gonna say this, man. And then Microsoft is doing the same situation. And I'm gonna pull up another statement later on that's gonna talk about exclusives. I don't really know where we're gonna go in the future. Gaming is becoming financially. It's gonna push everybody out. These handhelds are great devices. They're gonna price people out. They're already there. You know, I got the Super X tablet version. I didn't get the Apex, but I got the Super X, right? That's the 1X player portable device with the AMD 395 AI Plus chip. Them shits is $2,500. Them handhelds are $2,500. You know, shout out to my man Magnum. He was like, yeah, this is why the what's-the-name is a good value. The Xbox Ally X. I'm like, that's bullshit too. For the performance that it is over the Ally X, for that extra $200 to $300 that you're spending, you're not getting bang for performance. You're really just getting price. You know, for extra 2 or 3 frames for another $300-400, it's not worth it. I got an Ally X. I went on record. I said I'm not buying it. I went on record and said it's not going to be that much of a difference, and it really is not, because it's a Ally X with an Xbox logo on it, with a Z2 Extreme chip in there, with the same RAM, same everything, same battery, same everything. So this market is becoming a price problem. The memory is becoming ridiculous. We don't get into that Greg Miller rant. We should do that right now, man. Let me pull up that Greg Miller rant, man. And I got a lot of things to say about this dude. I want y'all to pay not negative, but when you don't support a brand, I don't support what you're saying. So listen to this. I don't know who's seen it, but we're going to play it right now. Just hold on. Give me a sec. Let's get it.
Xbox is losing money hand
This is crazy.
They are not doing well. That's my problem.
Hold on. Hold on. Let him finish. Shout out to my man Paris, who was on that show, Kind of Funny Games. I just want you to listen to this rant and its disrespect.
What we're doing is stopping
It's crazy.
hardware.
Let this rock. Minute and 47
you
seconds.
Fucked up the entire industry by wanting to go after this AI shit, and now no one can buy components. So it doesn't matter if I get Gears as an exclusive as an Xbox. You can't buy a new Xbox because it's too fucking
Yo, Bloody,
expensive.
what the
We
hell's
can't
going
make
on
new
with your mic
Xboxes
in your
'cause the
background,
components are too
bro?
expensive. The thing that would be the shot in the fucking arm right now.
I'm telling you, we hear boom, 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 boom. It's crazy.
So Satya
Yes,
Nadella is a bag of
yes.
shit, you son of a bitch.
Okay, so
You
that's
fucked
me
this
bumping
into
into
ground.
the-
So now we're gonna save the Xbox brand. The
That's
only way we
me
know
hitting
how,
the boom
and that's
arm.
appealing
Are
to
you
the
hearing
gamers.
anything now?
That's keeping
No.
all these studios.
Just
because, like,
stop,
anything
son.
you
It's
wanna
super.
fight and touch
It's
it
super.
everywhere.
It's super loud.
You hear it
we
because
talking
You
about
gonna
exclusives right
you
now?
gonna have to get a
What
real arm if
goddamn
you need some,
reality are
you know,
living
some
in right now, Xbox
some good
leadership, that we're
references.
thinking
I'll give you some so you
exclusives
don't
are
have
what's
that
gonna
problem.
bring people back to this platform. Get out of the fucking hardware. Double Fine.
Very
We
important
need
not
an
to have
awesome,
that, but
fun game
let
in
Greg
9
Miller
months
finish.
to put
We're
on
gonna get
Game
into
Pass. I am going over and I'm
I'm gonna
saying
get it.
Outer Worlds
And
dev,
shout out to
you're
my guy
making
Paris, who
Fallout
was
New
on that
Vegas.
show at the
The
time.
kids who made
But I'm gonna
the
get to
fucking
this.
Fallout London mod, I'm giving them money and we're fucking making a thing out of that too. Like, I'm here right now and I'm talking to Satya Nadella while he's this giant fucking bag of shit because
I'm gonna get into this
You
member
are
chat
not going anywhere
he's
with
done.
this brand if we don't have a vision for what it is. I don't know
My man
how you
Bold Alpha
cannot
Wolf.
look at the failure of the
But he is
announcement
louder.
and generation that
Yo,
was
turn
the
on your
Xbox One
gain. Music
and
said
not
you
go,
super
We will
loud.
never do that again. We will never step
I turned
foot
you down on the show,
stage
but it's
and
still
not
loud.
have a message we believe
How's that?
in.
Is that better?
Nobody believes in
Well, I
any
guess
of
we'll
this
figure it out.
except
Play
the
the
fucking
video.
money. I hope all these studios can get out and go have successful lives, and that's not possible, and I hate that.
I'll shut up, yo, because I'm not playing it again. That I'm not doing, because I had to hear that shit twice. Matter of fact, I heard that shit multiple times. All right, Bloody, talk about what did you miss? Oh, PlayStation pulling out a PC, and then I'm gonna get to the bold alpha wolf. And go ahead.
Let's shout out the community, because obviously the community is the reason why we're here. So shout out to Bold Alpha Wolf for that membership for 1 month, saying, but Lemon, didn't a year
No,
ago...
don't do that.
Hey.
Answer the question about PlayStation and PC. I'll get to that.
Okay. So PlayStation, PC. I was like, man, the issue is, like I said last week, the week
Yo, be
before
clean up
that,
in aisle
months
6.
ago. Here's the problem: is that PlayStation is
Clean
not
up in aisle 6,
trusting
Yobi.
PC. I was like, they are not putting out the games day and date with PC.
Thank
They
you.
are not keeping their time frames short with PC. They are missing the time frame when these games are hot, and PC does not care at that point. I was like, and when they did put them out, they were broken, they had bad ports, or they had this overly stupid requirement for PlayStation Plus in countries where PlayStation Plus or whatever is not available. So those people cannot play or buy those games. So when you're doing constant stuff like that, you're screwing the people who would potentially buy your games. And that's why you saw the massive drop in the support for those games, because you can do it, mess up once, maybe twice. But when it's with every single launch, they're not going to forgive it. PC is one of those communities that will absolutely hold a grudge until you do right by them.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Afterward, they will support you. We saw that with Xbox, who had to go through those growing pains. But guess what? Like we said before, they have experience because they are a PC company. They fixed what they needed to. They had teams that were trained with people that were able to do PC. And that's when they started working towards what we got with DirectX 12. Well, guess what? It's one build that works across both platforms.
Okay.
And ever since then, we've had no issues with PC.
All right, so let me get to these two member chats, then we're gonna get to the Greg Miller video. Yobi, I'm not gonna play it again, Yob. I'm sorry if we talked a little bit over it, but y'all got the gist of it. But you're gonna get my meaning why I warned Paris what I was gonna say when he came on. It's not no disrespect, but some people I just can't listen to when it comes to certain brands. He says, but Lemon, didn't you hear or two ago, AMD said they could and would have enough to hold the Xbox if the early launch is what they wanted to do. Listen. Somebody else wrote in the chat. Hold on. Let me get to this. Hold on. Somebody else. That's something that goes with that. AMD doesn't do RAM on SSD. No, they do not. That is a fact. Having something to hold off till later don't mean nothing, because once you run out, that's your ass. And that's what happened to Microsoft. They could have had a nice abundance of RAM and SSDs. They didn't, because people wasn't buying systems, so why would they stock up? So at the end of the day, you are the one that's going to be paying for these price hikes. Now, once again, it's going to price out the average person. I just told you the device that I have was like $25, $53, $97. That's almost $3,000. That's crazy. That's crazy to see. That's not no casual person price. That's not even hardcore price. That's enthusiast price. So we can't get in here and pretend, oh, I got the bag. Everybody don't got the bag. Everybody don't. This economy is bad. We still recovering from COVID situations. We can't get in here and pretend like everybody got the bag. It's rough out here. Now, let me get to this super chat from my brother. What up, 108 and Bloody? You're not even messing with the OLED Xbox Ally. No. And I'm going to tell you something else. He said, I think one looks good. I'm finally getting one. Let me say this for the record, and let me get the girl up on the screen. You know how we do here. You know how we do, satisfying the brothers and sisters in the building. But I'm going to say this for the record. Let me say this for the record. I got into a whole debate, and you know I hate when people try to talk about money. And first of all, when I'm talking tech, it's never about cash. I don't want to hear, oh, you spend this, you do this. No, if I'm talking about tech, it's because the tech is amazing. Oh, they're putting an APU in a new Xbox handheld. The Xbox Ally X will not be able to have the whole system shaders downloadability. I said, you think because of the APU that's facts? I said, see, some people need to stay away from talking about tech. And No matter how simple a SSD sounds or RAM sounds, that is technically the holdback of anything because of price. I said, but putting the APU in the Xbox Ally X was technically for up. Don't even work on the handheld itself. It was for attaching the handheld to your TV, which has nothing to do with downloading shaders in the game. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. So, fast forward to today.
I was like, that lets you know that.
Hold on. I ain't done. Oh no.
I don't know. I'm just like,
I'm not gonna say his name. I'm not gonna say their name, but I love going on people's shows and people think they're tech heads. And I've been building PCs since I was like 19, 20. I am 54. Ain't much shit you could teach me about building PCs. With my own hands, my own parts, ordering shit. Please stop. When I'm telling you something, you need to listen. So I was told that the new shader download, keyword is download, so you don't have to load up these shaders to make the games run smoother offline and faster startups once you download the shaders. Oh, that's exclusive. That's exclusive to the Xbox handheld. First off, let me tell you this. The Xbox handheld was made by Asus. It's not an Xbox device. It's not. Shout out to my brother P Lump. I said, yo, you need to learn how to use this thing. Yo, Lemon, man. This the call. Yo, Lemon. Yo. I was on a plane and I couldn't get it to work. I said, what happened? Every time I tried to load a game, it wouldn't start up. Did you set your app in your Ally X, your Xbox Ally X to play in offline mode? And did you do your 14-day check-in for each game that you wanted to play for DRM?
Well, remember, they changed it to as long as you are online and they're synced, you don't have to do each game individually for 14 days.
Well, yeah, they changed it, but at the time he said it wasn't like that. So
fair.
I said, so how did that work out for you, PC guy? It's not a PC, it's an Xbox. I said, if it was an Xbox, it'd have played.
Mm-hmm.
It's a PC. So let's get back to the APU situation and the download. So now, Lemon must be a fortune teller. I keep telling people, my boy King David say he's 98% of the time he's right. I say my crystal ball is undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't talk about nothing I don't know about. If I don't know something, I go read. I learn. Instead of thinking I know so much. So now the Ally X's got the same shader downloads without the same APU on that GPU. Damn. So I just do a little Twitter little conversation, and guess what I heard? Crickets. Once again, undefeated. But now we're gonna keep it pushing, man. We're gonna keep it pushing. Shout out to everybody that's pulling up, man. I know it's a multiple of shows going on right now, pulling people in a different direction. But listen, man, let's get back to this Greg Miller situation. I'm gonna say this. I'm not a Satya Nadella fan. I agreed with certain things that he said. But this is the fuckboy shit. Shout out to Rain in the chat. He goes to state, as y'all heard, you need to stop making hardware. You came in the game and blamed and wanted all this AI stuff. Like Microsoft was the lead platform. They did not start that drive with AI. Stop saying that. They just jumped on the bandwagon like everybody else did. Facts. They went hard on it because they have the most money and nobody can invest in AI like Microsoft. That's the other entities that got into it don't have that type of money. We know the deal. But this is what made me sick about your comments. Greg Miller don't give a fuck about Xbox. Let me say this again. You don't give a fuck about Xbox. You're the same person that disrespected PC players and said they just sit in these basements and they all smell and they're musty. Pretty much like that South Park episode. Remember that shit? That was crazy.
The World of Warcraft episode.
Yeah. That was disrespectful, right? And what's crazy, I met you in real life. You ain't talking like that to too many people in real life. Your ass ain't really like that. But I'm gonna say this for the record. Your takes on Xbox and tapping out and just making games, why would they do that? For the brand that you worship to be the leading king in gaming by themselves with no competition? I would respect what you say if you support multiple brands. You don't. You champion PlayStation. So I can't take what you said seriously. Yes, you had some points. Some points, yo, listen, Satya Nadella need to back his little creepy ass fingers off of Xbox and let the team work. Gave Phil Spencer a hard time on the way out. It was your idea putting games everywhere. Your idea. Phil's idea was Game Pass. Your idea was put games everywhere. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty much what it was. You're a businessman who don't know shit about gaming. That, Greg Miller's right. But the whole message from Greg Miller is not to be taken seriously. He's a fucking Xbox hater. If he was a general dude in a great media status that he is, he's like fucking Colin. They promote the blue team only. They got blue lipstick on. Shit is crazy. Shit is crazy. So that's why I didn't take, oh yeah, me and you smart, Paris. Yeah, Paris is smart because he's objective. He brings an opinion from all aspects. He doesn't always have to be right, but he honestly speaks on what he stands on. Unlike yo ass. You choose to worship PlayStation. I don't worship Xbox. And some of my friends, oh, you got to choose a side. No, bitch, you do. I buy games wherever the hell I want to buy games. I play them how I want to play them. And you're not a subjective person. You are driven by fucking Sony. So some of that shit you said, you could definitely kick rocks. I don't believe in you. A lot of people don't believe in you. When you disrespected those PC gamers, I'm pretty sure if they saw your ass, they probably beat your ass up, which is just crazy. That was crazy disrespect. I couldn't believe you went out on a limb to talk crazy like that about people who play games. You're a gamer. We're all gamers. We all are nerds. I don't care who you are on the chat. Look in the mirror and fucking say, I'm a nerd. Because you fucking are, like me. We talk this gaming shit. We live this gaming shit. Those are the facts. But the honesty is, I couldn't take everything you said seriously because I know where that shit came from. Oh, they should stop making hardware. Why the fuck should... Why? Why? To promote your narrative? Why? We need two major platforms in the world competing for a spot. Mm-hmm. We don't need just John Madden and no NFL 2K. You see where that got us? We don't have no competition for fucking 2K. You see where that got us? A game that's milking us every year, doing the same shit. And yeah, I'm guilty of buying both of them. Facts! Because there's nobody else to buy. So you want a whole PlayStation world with no Xbox, but you want their games. You just as bad as the fucking petition. Anyway, Bloody, talk about that video, man. I'm sorry if I went on a rant chat, but you know, some of these dudes, I'm gonna give another fucking rant in a minute, but some of these dudes in the industry, man, yo, if you grew up on PlayStation, I grew up on PlayStation. I did too. But I ain't kissing PlayStation ass. I'm just not doing it. Bloody, how did you feel about the Greg Miller video, man? You was talking about it before the show. I stopped Bloody from talking about it so he could say it one time to everybody. Talk to me, Bloody.
Here's the thing, right? I was like you, I have respect for Greg Miller and the kind of funny dudes. I've been following them for a very long time, right?
I ain't got no
They've been some of the biggest
respect.
voices in
I like Kind of Funny
How do you
Games.
feel about it?
I like
They have been
Kind
some
of
of the
Funny
biggest
Games.
voices and the biggest faces in this industry that paved the way for us to be able to have an opinion, right?
Mhm.
That have been early on. Doesn't mean that everything they say is gospel, right? Everyone's entitled to opinion, even if it's a bad one. I was like, what he's asking for or what he's saying is completely wrong in who that conversation should be directed to. Yes, you mentioned it up. Yes, Microsoft has more money than others, and that's why they dogpiled into the AI train just as much as everyone else did. I was like, but we also know that the AI bubble is going to pop in certain aspects. There is usage for AI, but what it's being utilized for is not it. I was like, between the environmental impact and the fact of what it's being utilized for is completely asinine, and that's going to absolutely come back and bite every major company that jumped into it in the ass. And the ones who started that, people need to remember, is started with Google. Google is the ones who had been building AI for the longest point. They've also been the biggest ones who pushed for that for the longest time. And that's when everyone started following suit. Microsoft was just able to jump into it at the level that they did because not only did they have the money, they also had the technology to make it ramped up faster than others. Is there usage of it? Yes, we've seen it with like machine learning and other aspects, but generative AI, all these data centers and farms that we've seen for like cryptocurrency and other bullshit is not the usage that we want for a tool like that. When we talk about that tool, we would talk about the same way that we saw Connect being utilized, right? Because Connect was doing what? Great things in technology because it was being utilized in hospitals for surgeons to be able to look at X-rays and other sorts of data without having to touch a computer, having someone manipulate it. Because why? Our red, infrared technology and the way that they built that camera was helpful to them. I was like, the same way that AI can be used to find information that within a certain closed system helps to be able to find it quickly. Not all the stupid shit that we see on like Twitter and every other place. That is not the usage. These deep fakes, these being able to have, hey, take this image and copy this person's art and create this type of shit. No, that is not the usage that it needs to be, and that's not what it should have been done for. I was like, yes, I will say that there is an aspect of cost for these for what we're gonna see with the upcoming Xboxes, but that is not their fault. We know that they always take a hit on technology, and when it comes to hardware, when a brand new generation starts, we always say they take a loss because they don't make a profit off of hardware until years later. They always rely on software. And who's the biggest reason that hardware is in the shithole that it is? Companies like Crucial, who decided to exit an entire market to prioritize another industry, which is going to fail. And they're going to be up shit creek because they wanted to put all their money in that and they're not going to see any sort of return. They make RAM. They make the memory that these devices utilize.
And they got out of portable SSDs too. I bought the last one for my Super X.
And that right there, storage. I was like, they took a major part of the industry and a major manufacturer out. So what's left? You go from 3 to 2, even 1, and guess what? Now there's a duopoly, or in this case a monopoly, whatever. I was like, they now set the prices. There's now an increased demand and a decrease in supply. So what does that do? It raises the prices. I was like, are y'all complaining to PlayStation about the fact that their current console costs $1,000? Are you complaining the fact that if they make a PS6, it's going to cost almost twice as much of that, if not at least a times and a half? You're talking about a $1,500 potential console. That's not a pro version. We've already said openly that we expect Helix, if it's going to be a die-hard hybrid console, like they state, it's going to at least be 1,000 to 1,500. We hope that it's the median of 1,200, but we know that this is what it's going to be because we're not delusional, because we see the signs. Right now, gaming as a luxury is an absolute fact. Is there still going to be a push for affordability so people can get in? Sure, but guess what? You're trading off power for price. And that is always the case. We saw it between the Series X and the Series S. And the fact that people continue to ignore that fact goes to show either the bias or the absolutely ignorance that they have about understanding where things are.
Mm-hmm.
That means that they're purposely choosing to spread misinformation or ignore entire facts.
Oh, don't worry. We don't get
About
into that. We don't get into
everything.
that. Don't go too far. Don't go too
Oh, I
far.
know. I'm not going to. But so the fact that this person who has the fan base that he does, that has the platform that he does, the audience, the type of engagement and the presence. It's the same way whenever Jeff Keighley says something right, people pay attention because Jeff Keighley has earned that right because he's been around and he does all the things that he does. Greg has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Yes, he has that presence. But when you purposely choose to ignore certain facts, you need to be addressed on that because that is not being smart. That is being a bit of an asshole. I was like, sure, we're all assholes. We all have certain opinions, right? But do not exclude facts that have an important significance in the point you're trying to make. Because
Facts.
that shows that you're purposely trying to paint a bad light instead of just an awful situation that everyone is caught in. This doesn't affect just Xbox. This affects PC as a whole. We've seen how people tell you to get into PC gaming, buy a pre-built. It is no longer viable to build your own. PlayStation is going to feel the stranglehold.
Yeah. The
Nintendo
industry
feels this stranglehold.
Nintendo raised the original Switch, which is they shouldn't even be selling that shit.
The prices on the original Switch.
The original Switch
after the Switch 2 launch. Did people give them shit about it? No. Y'all are purposely choosing to ignore that fact. I was like, this is not one person, one company. This is everyone, the entire industry.
Facts.
No, take that fact and stand on that. Don't stand on one person.
Yeah, facts.
They're not at fault. Their fault is going into that bubble, trying to double down and see if they can make something out of it.
I'm gonna say this. Man. Sorry, Bloody. I'm gonna say this.
No, you're good.
This shows you how much the United States depends on other countries for certain shit. I think Baron's brother, shout out to Baron's brother, man. LV1 people, man. So that's Bloody's team. That's his fam. That's my fam too. That's my brother's, man. Let me say this for the record, man. His brother was talking to me. Everybody had this thing called a Pocket 3. Shout out to Paris. Paris did a video from Forza. Yeah, Paris. I peeped what you was using. Cause you know your boys, I'm a tech dude. I know what you was using. You was using that Pocket 3 to do that Forza footage in Japan. That's when messing with the tech dude. I could see that shit. But he was like, man, I want the Pocket 4. I even think the Pocket 4 is not really a real upgrade to the 3. But anyway, King was sitting there. And Baron's brother is the one who had it. I said, yo, listen, I know how to get all that shit, all that DJI shit. I just bought one of the drones that they banned in the United States. So he was like, what? You can't get that. I said, come on, man. Do you see who you talking to? I said, oh, Baron, he don't know no better. So Baron said, if Lemon say it, it's true. I said, you want the Pocket 4? This is where you go. This is how you get it with no tariffs. Yo, he just stopped talking. He looked. He was like, yo. I said, don't worry. That's why everybody, all our teams got me. Don't worry, I got you. I said, don't ever say I ain't do nothing for you.
Every crew needs a tech plug. I was like, because they know how to get the stuff. I was like, that's what it is.
Facts, man. But listen, we're going to keep it pushing, man. Let's get into something positive, man. And this is a great thing. I don't know you people who use Affirm, you people who use Zip, you people that use PayPal, 4Plays, where you pay in 4 payments or you do monthly payments with Affirm or Klarna. But let me say this, man. Shout out to Xbox. Shout out to Xbox for opening ways for people to get the next gen and current systems. They are currently working on ways for people to put down a little and get a big package up front. Now, they was the first company from themselves to start a lease program, a lease to buy with Xbox One. First company. Now, they're taking it to another level. Yes, you could buy peripherals with Klarna or Affirm. It's either or. But now they're moving it to console. So listen, let's get them a. Let's get them. Yo, listen, let's talk about it. Helix is gonna cost some money. And it's gonna cost some money because of these RAM prices. PC parts are just blown out the frame. It's not really the major company's problem. Which Greg Miller alluded to, that it was Microsoft, they're the evil demon. Stop. Please stop. But because everybody is being hit with these prices. Nintendo raised the price of the original Switch. That's how much. And we know that shit came out and it was outdated when it dropped. So, Mr. Greg Miller, Microsoft did that too, huh? Yeah, all right. But, like they usually do, blame Series S. But I'm going to say this.
Series S made Crucial leave.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That console made them fail and realize we can make money elsewhere.
Crucial makes the best external HD hard drives, man. I got the last greatest one. I got the 9T Pro, and I attached it to the back of my Super X. Small thing, very powerful. But I'm gonna say this.
WD Black, they be out there.
Oh yeah, facts. That's a great one too. But I'm gonna say this, man. This is a way for people to be able to afford these consoles. You got to pay a monthly charge like a goddamn car note. May not be nowhere near high as a car note, but at least you have an option to put down a certain amount of money. You'll be able to get this stuff in your homes. I think this is fantastic that Microsoft is taking the forefront. I think PlayStation and Nintendo have to do the same things. They have to. They just pulled out a new 8 terabyte SSD made by, I think it was Western Digital, PlayStation, $3,000. First of all, the average gamer don't need 8 terabytes built in the storage because, first of all, the bigger the storage, the more errors you could get. You should start at no higher than 4, and 4 is a crazy number. But Bloody, man, how you feeling about Xbox taking this? It says Xbox is gearing up for PayPal and Klarna's buy now, pay later program, letting you spread the cost of Xbox purchases across weeks and even months, interest-free. How you feeling about this, man? Your boy Lemon is always bringing y'all good news. Some of y'all may know this, but some of y'all may not. How are you feeling about this, Bloody, man?
This is a great thing because this allows affordability and accessibility to be able to get these machines. As we said before, gaming is now a luxury beyond more than usual. I was like, we knew that it was going to get to the point where things were going to start being expensive. We said it last generation, 6 years ago, when the Series X and S came out, when we said $500 for the console, right? You talked about the expansion cards. That was one. Not only was that a different type of SSD that people don't know, it was a different size than what you see in most PCs, but it was also proprietary because of the fact that it had to be at a select type and a select speed that in the console.
You know what? You want to know what it is? And most people in the chat ain't going to know what I was talking about. Bloody did not tell everybody in 2018?
2019.
No, it was 2018.
It was early 2019. I was like, that's when we both talked about it because we found out late 2018, but we actually sat down and talked about it was early 2019.
Well, I said to people, and this is once again, my crystal ball is undefeated. And I'm tooting my own horn because I'm a smart motherfucker, period. I told everybody that the SSD that will be made for the next generation consoles, the memory card for Xbox will be over $180. I said this on GRG. Everybody attacked me. Yo, you bugging because you spend money. Everybody ain't got that money. I said, I'm telling you, if you ask for speed on SSDs, the faster the speed, the more money it costs. Yep. I'm going to give you an example, chat. I'm going to give you an example. 2015, The Witch is on fire. I had a 9080 Ti graphic card, and the biggest hit was not ray tracing because that wasn't out then, right? 2015. the biggest hit to hardware was hair tessellation. Now, for those that do not know what that means, that's when you see Gerald hair blown in the wind while he's riding a horse. That was a resource hog back then. It was like what ray tracing is today. So I went and I built this PC for 4K gaming in 2015. My boy Six Layers the witness. I said, listen, I want to get the fastest SSD. For 256 gigabytes of GDR3. It was $700. 512 was like $1,300 to $1,400. You know I got that 256, right? But look at the price at that time. And when I explained this on GRG in the podcast, people thought I was crazy. I said, I'm telling you because I've been through it. Way before anybody else, I've been through it because I had the funds available to me and I didn't care about price. I said, I don't care, I'm gonna buy it. I don't care what it costs. I'm a high-end gamer. That is not a general public situation. I'm not saying everybody should be that. I'm just telling you the situation, what happened, and when I said it on GRG, everybody said I was crazy. Oh, I don't see more than $80. I said, you're bugging. You better add 100 to that. You better, for 512. Not even a terabyte. And when it came out, I was throwing salt in everybody's wounds. What I told you? What did I tell you? What did I tell you? This is the thing. When somebody don't know something and you do, you always the minority. You always the minority. But I'm telling you, it's not because I like to spend money. Everybody like to save money. Everybody like to save money. Nobody's gonna go, do you think I work hard for my money? But the point is, that was the situation, and everybody attacked me. On every podcast said I was crazy. But then I'm Petty Murphy of his first kind. Oh boy, did I have fun when that memory card came out. But continue, Bloody.
I was like, here's the thing. I was like, we were saying this because I was the only person who agreed with it. Because I told them, I was like, y'all don't understand that you pay for space. I was like, and speed. Because remember, at that time, the best external hard drive is a disk drive. And I was like, and that 8 terabyte, the one that I still have to this day, costed $250. I was like, but they're just like, oh, well, how come you have that, but you can't? I was like, because of the fact that you're going from a hard disk, which is platters. I was like, it's totally different than what it takes to do SSD, which is all digital.
Yep.
I was like, the fact is that 1 terabyte at that time costed the same as an 8 terabyte hard disk drive.
Yep.
I was like, and that's because of the fact that the digital, the SSD, reads faster, and there's no mechanical
pieces. That's right. That's
I was
right.
like, that's what people don't understand. So I hate when people talk about storage and stuff like that and don't understand the technology, even at the most basic level. That lets me know you don't understand what the subject matter, let alone can talk about the price on it. I was like, if you don't understand why the basics of it is and how it works, then you're not going to understand the cost. Right now, there are some SSDs that are absolutely cheap on what you're paying cent per gigabyte for the size, but that's because certain SSDs have come down in price. But overall, for what we're going to see in the next 10 years, for the next generation of consoles and the next generation of PCs have to be significantly faster. It's the same way why the memory, right? Right now, PCs require GDDR5 RAM.
5X. No. 5X.
5X, but GDDR5, right? In general, I was like, to get next gen performance, you need to have these high-end CPUs. You're talking at least a 7000 series for AMD, and you need at least an 11 series from
Intel,
right? I was like, to run next gen because those CPUs and above require GDDR5.
Yeah.
My PC that I built in 2020 still runs on GDDR4. If I want to
Which ain't
upgrade
no
this thing, which I know I need to, it's going to be expensive.
which is no
I was like,
slouch though. When I built my new
But-
PC, right? When I built my new PC, this is before the price hikes, right? I had 64 gigabytes of RAM in my PC. I dropped that shit to 32.
I was like, right now, I got 32.
That's
like,
enough.
I was like, I fear even trying to get close to that because
Yeah,
I
you-
can get
yeah,
64 RAM and this one, and it'd still be cheaper than 16 of GDDR5. I was like, right now, if you have an older system, your best bet is to go to the highest that your current system can go with until prices come down. So if I want to keep using my same motherboard, I would just need to get the high tier CPU that this motherboard can support and get as much RAM as I can on the cheap. I was like, and run with that because trying to upgrade to a full next gen build is going to be significantly more expensive.
All right, so let's move on, man. Let's move on. We're moving through this show nicely, man. Shout out to Infinite Umber that just pulled up, man. I see you in the building. Yeah, bro. Yo, listen, this is a party weekend in New York, man. But one thing I don't like doing is leaving my community hanging, especially when it's important topics. But we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of this show. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the show. And like my man Yobi said, I remember. Yeah, he remembered when I went through that. Everybody was laughing when I told him the price of what the next generation Xbox proprietary, which is it's really a CF Express card slot. People don't even know what the fuck that is, what I'm talking about. Go look up CF Express card B, type B. Go to B&H and look at what one of those cards costs. Just go look. And this is what I told people. You know how I know about that stuff? Because I got high-end cameras. $3,000 cameras. I got like 3 of them at that price. And 2 of them take CF Express B card slots. Trust me. RAM been expensive. Now it's touching console people. It's been expensive. Go type in CF Express type B cards. Just go ahead. Anybody in the chat, type it in Google and post in the chat for 256 and 512. Post the price. I got about 7 or 8 of those cards right now.
That's the same reason why people don't understand the difference between PCI and PCIe.
Yeah, right.
Let alone the different versions because you have X2, X4, X8, X16, different sizes, different speeds, and what cards can fit in those slots and what can be used because you also then have to take into account the power draw of that specific slot and if it's supported on your motherboard. That's why I just don't like when people talk about stuff they don't know because of the fact that this goes into so much more if you don't understand the basics.
But I'm going to say this. Just type in CF Express Type B card. Anybody, I want you to post the price of a 256 or 512 in the chat because people say I be bugging. That's what the memory card is in the Xbox. It's a CF Express card. CF Express. Plug and play. So anybody, I want y'all to do that for me. Please, CF, the letter CF, and put Express next to it, one word, type B. And I want to see what somebody come up with. But now we're going to keep it moving, man. Yeah, Bold Alpha Wolf. What size was that Bold Alpha Wolf for $350? What size was that? Was that 256? What size was that one? This is what I be talking about. Dudes be like, oh, let me be capping. No, I don't. I'm telling you the truth. I'm warning you before it happens. Don't be mad at the messenger.
Oh my God.
Yo, your background, Bloody, is coming through your headphones. That's the 250 piece. Bloody!
Same as we saw on that entrance. Comfort knows.
Your Bloody, your background. Can you stop playing stuff? Can you hear me, Bloody? Stop playing stuff on your computer.
All right, my bad.
Damn. Anyway, so now I'm gonna say this for the legendary Yowie, 229, 350. No, but what sizes? I need to know the sizes to go with those prices. The first one, Yobi, what's the first price of the first one? Tell me what the second price of that 359. What size you're getting, and the 499. This is what I be telling people, and people say, "Oh, Lemon, you just beat." No, I don't just beat shit. You beat. I'm telling you ahead of time what you're gonna get yourself into. What is about to happen to you? Don't tell me because I buy those type of cameras. Oh, that's you. No, it's not me. I don't make these prices. You think I wouldn't want those cars for cheaper? I got about 7 of them. We're not going to even talk. The adapter's cheap to plug it to your computer. The transfer rate is in the 5,000s, 7,000s, easily. 1,000s, right? Easily. Or 10 gigabytes, 20 gigabytes transfer speed. They're excellent. But you got to pay how you weigh. And I told everybody, I said, okay, I got cameras with that memory speed. What? Yeah, I got a camera with that memory speed. I got a camera that shoots in 7K and it uses that speed. If you got an 8K
Didn't
camera,
you also say
you got an 8K?
8K TV?
No, I got an 8K TV. I don't talk about that because we don't talk about that. But I had to show people. Sticker price 9 out of 10 if you can get it direct. Yo, listen, for all PC, that's accurate. Listen, let's keep it pushing, man. Now, this is a friend of my friend's rooms, not this room. Jez Corden, who I saw at FanFest, Summer Games Fest. I don't rock with Homeboy. My team do. A lot of my friends do. 128 gigabytes for 229, 240 gigabytes, 259, 512, 500. Yeah, okay. See? See? But I'm bugging. Anyway, shout out to the people who went in the chat and put that up. Shout out to my brother Dragonheart Yobi and Bold Alpha Wolf. I told you. So now, this is what I always say about Jez, and your boy Lemon don't be lying. I don't care if he's a friend of my people in the room. I don't care. We are all different individuals. But he goes out there and makes a statement and starts some bullshit on Twitter that's not the facts. Not the facts. As I always say, every time Xbox has a moment, Jez Gordon comes up with a doom and gloom situation, claims to be a motherfucking victim, like people are picking on him. So, with that being said, let's get to not the videotape, but let's get to the photo tape. Let's bring this shit up real quick. Hold on. Here you go. Jez Gordon. It's fanfic that Microsoft wants to reverse course on Xbox exclusives right now, or that is what some kind of weird PR sleight of hand just for the showcase, which means they're buffooning us and talking bullshit. Now, he says, exclusive games is a foundation of a single strategy for post-memory crisis. Just how far they will go with it remains to be seen. Now, let me say this for the record. Shout out to the fucking clowns on the internet. Hold on, let me switch this camera real quick. Shout out to you fake-ass dudes on the internet. This the shit that I be talking about. One dude writes something, you all start running with it. You got Kotaku with some bullshit. What's the other one that did it, man? Oh, man, I can't even think of the third site. They all ran with it. Yeah, Microsoft is closing down all these developers, and they're already...
GameSpot?
No, not GameSpot. It wasn't GameSpot. Maybe they did it later, but I'm talking about the initial people. The name ain't coming to me because I couldn't find... I bookmarked it, but I don't know where I put it. They specifically went out there and rained on Microsoft's great showcase. But I'm going to show you some shit about Sony in a minute that's going to really, really fuck your head up. This is the shit that I'll be saying about the Xbox tax. That's what's part of that title. This is the shit that kills me. You at the goddamn event. You, Jez, you're at the event. You see the wonderful situation. But all of a sudden, a few days, a week later, here we go with this fucking rumor shit. None of the stuff that you posted was facts. It's so crazy. Matthew Ball comes out and say, these rumors are false. Gears of War E-Day and Clockwork Revolution will stay exclusive. There are no conversations and have been no conversations to reverse course. And as we said last week, players can continue to expect signature exclusives from us every year. This is the shit that I be talking about. And when I brought this up before, oh, but Jez be right. No, Jez hears shit and he reports it. Sometimes he reports it without doing his homework. And obviously, this is what happened. Oh, companies are getting pink slips, and it got worse during the course of the week. Companies got pink slips. Oh, they're already throwing CEOs under the bus. Oh, Xbox is cutting off Ninja Theory. Oh, Compulsion Games is in trouble. Oh, no! Who did you hear this shit from? This is what I be talking about. And you know why I rock with my dude, Destin? This is why I rock with Destin. This is why I rock with my boy, Destin. Hold on, man. Let me get this shit. Let me get this shit right, man. Hold on. Look, this is responding to Matthew Ball after he checked Jez 3 minutes after his post. And we're going to get into the other post that Jez did after the fact. A lot of people out here are mad at Xbox because of the recent news. But there is no need to just make shit up. Now, this guy, Destin, is my guy. Now I keep telling you, stop looking at my subscribers and look where I be. I'm going to repeat that. Stop looking at my subscribers and look where I be.
Mm-hmm.
I introduce my people to real people. Shout out to my man, Money Mike. Geek Like Mike. Geek Life Mike. Yo, Lemon, man, I've been in this game for years. You be introducing me to people that I ain't never even met, and I've been here longer than you. Because that's what I do. But this is what I be saying. You dudes take to the internet and y'all believe any fucking thing that they post because they may have more. Yo, get them likes up for me, please, in the chat. Smash that like button. That's how you help this channel, man. That's how you help this channel and help this great energy that I give you. Because I always promote the facts. I don't care if he's cool with my homies. I don't care if Jez is cool with my homies. I really don't care. But this is what they do to Xbox morale. They see you winning. They see you happy. Misery likes company. They like it. They don't want to see you winning. We can't have a good showcase without the bullshit. And this is how me and his beef started before. But you know where that energy wasn't at? It wasn't at FanFest. Ain't none of that internet energy crossed over to real life. Motherfuckers knew better. Facts. But I'm going to say this for the record. This is why I do this. So you have a stand-up person who doesn't reap the benefits of promoting bullshit on his channel to give you the real news. Because I'm at where they at without the benefits of what they get. I do it genuinely. You do it for a check. You can't shut me up. My team can't shut me up. Nobody can tell me what to do. I do what I want to do. You ever heard that saying from 50? I do what I want to do. Nobody can tell me nothing. And this is the shit that kills me when you have people, like Bloody said, with Greg Miller. You have eyes on you. You have a large following. And I used to say I started YouTube because I think people with that type of following don't have the responsibility and integrity anymore. They just do shit for clicks. So, with that being said, Jez started this situation and everybody ran with it. You didn't hear shit from Microsoft. What you did hear is this. Hold on. That's what you heard. These rumors are false. Gears of War, ED, and Clockwork Revolution will stay exclusive. There are no conversations to reverse course. And as we said last week, players can continue to expect to see more signatures exclusives from us every year. Now you see, shout out to Matthew Ball. Shout out to Jason Ronald, one of the most decent dudes on the internet, man. One of the dudes that created Xbox Series X and S. Great dude. When stupid ass Nib started the rumor, he got in that ass early. All fucking Diddy. Baby all special. He gave Nib.
No, not the baby oil special.
Baby oil special. He gave Nib the work for spreading bullshit, talking about that OEM shit. Listen, I told Colt, I told Boom, I told King, I told my people, oh, they're gonna make OEMs. I said, no, the fuck they are not. Why would they? How did that work out for Steambox? Letting everybody make their own version. I said, they're not gonna do that. They're gonna control their narrative, and they're gonna keep their narrative in their perspective. If you start outsourcing different Xbox OEMs, everybody's gonna put their twist on it.
I was like, do people not understand that that's look at why the graphics card market is what it is?
Shout out to Stone King.
You have the manufacturers, you have NVIDIA, you have AMD with the founders cards, which are the base model. But guess what? Every other company has to make their own unique take on that and add their things. That's why you have overclock cards, why you have speeds that do things, why you have custom fans, all sorts of other stuff. Because the fact that they have to do that to differentiate from the founders cards.
Now,
I was like, they're required to.
Now, let me say this. I love my team of dudes. As you see, I party with them hard. We in Cali, we doing it up. We doing what it do. I'm the only one, including with K. Asante. I told his ass too. I said, bro, no OEMs. I don't know why y'all doing that, because let me add on to what Bloody said. Once they do OEM, they don't control their platform, because everybody gonna put their twist on it. So when Nib said that bullshit and Jason Ronald said no, everything will be made by us. And you still got dudes doubling down, but I still think, I don't give a fuck what you think. The man has spoken. And it's the same thing. Hold on. Yeah, the man. Let me say this for the record. This is no disrespect to Jazz, but the fucking spade, call a spade a spade. You be doing too much. And as I know you got to get people to Windows Central, but this is not how you get them when you spew bullshit. And then after, shout out to Destin. I love what Destin said. You ain't got to go out there and make shit up. Facts. Direct shot. But you know what? They're not going to say Destin said that. They're going to say Lemon said it. And I don't give a fuck. That's the difference. I don't give a fuck. You're not going to say shit to Destin, he's too big. But you're going to say, that goddamn 108 need clout. But if you call me out my name, we're going to have a problem. You know how that worked out last time. But I'm going to say this. I was right. The first time I said something, every showcase, here come the bullshit. Then to come to find out, all of it was bullshit. Asha went to these studios to reevaluate and restructure, no matter what it takes. Some people is leaving, but guess what? This is her regime now. She does not agree with where the last regime was taking it. Even though 99% of that shit came from Satya, she's saying, this is my boat now. I'm the captain and I'm in control. And she's supposed to. If you want to reset, shake up the next 100 days, this is what we're doing. Shout out to Force One and Trey Bone. I just seen pull up. Shout out to you, my man, Cygnus in the chat. I see you, Stone King. But I'm going to say this, man. I only give you the facts. I'm showing on screen the smoke. But this is what's fucked up. So a couple days later, Jez makes another article. Well, I'm going to give you on my opinion and my thoughts on what I think is going on. That's not fucking fact. Don't try to clean it up. Just try not to say nothing else about it. You can't clean it up. You made your statement a fact. I ain't even show y'all the whole shit. I just showed you the beginning. You made your statement a fact that you knew this was going down. Now, 2 days later, you make a whole new article on, well, you know what? I think this is going to happen. The fuck are we doing? That's what we doing? And nobody's gonna challenge you or say anything? Everybody just gonna say, but he's mostly right. No, the fuck he's not. He's been right about some stuff because he knows people. It ain't. I knew about Gears of War E-Day. I just kept my mouth shut. But I was promoting it on my tip. Like, yo, yeah, that exclusive. You heard me call out Paris. Yo, Paris, didn't I told Paris, you're exclusive. We on the way to Summer Game Fest having a conversation. And I said, well, I think it's exclusive. Oh, because how they gonna reverse? Reverse? How the fuck is Sony reversing?
Just like that. They're just saying, we're not doing it.
What? Sony special?
I hope it bites them in the ass.
Yeah, listen.
In this case.
Listen. We just promoting facts here, man. No, but you ain't gotta like what I said, but I'm telling you the truth. If you want somebody to blow smoke up your ass, you're in the wrong channel for that. I'm gonna tell you exactly. I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear. And I told y'all they was gonna do that game. I didn't know about Clock Knight Revolution. I ain't say nothing about that game. I said Gears E-Day will definitely be for the past year, definitely gonna be exclusive.
Because we saw how them reloaded numbers were.
Definitely. I said I put my fucking word on it.
You stood 10 toes on that one for sure.
And nobody could tell me, listen, I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. Shout out to my boy Baron. When that game got announced exclusive, Bloody was sitting right next to him. He screamed out, Lemon was right!
If anyone saw any live recording that wasn't from the preloaded show, you would hear him. I was like, yelling at the top of his lungs because we were all on the front row. You could hear that.
You could hear him scream that out. Lemon was right. I see, but no, I got 2,600 subscribers, which I respect all of y'all. But I don't got 2 million, so I'm not the respected dude. But I'm the dude that's gonna tell you the truth because this shit don't pay my bills. I'm just telling you what it is.
We're still gonna tell you the truth.
I'm always gonna tell the truth because my integrity means more to me than anything else. But I told people, if I say in my opinion, I think this, I would say that. I don't go out here and start a rumor about shit going down at Microsoft. And now you want to revert back to, but I'm gonna make an article about my opinion. No, you're already fucked up. You do exactly what I said you was gonna do. He can't help himself. And like I said, he's friends with my whole team. I'm the only one that like, yeah, whatever. And I don't talk to him. Don't really care. Because you do too much bullshit like a Greg Miller that I don't like. You try to sway the community against each other. You're an Xbox dude that's not. If you notice, he went on Twitter and said, I'm not going back to an Xbox event. I wonder why. But let me go to Bloody, man. That's my second rant of the night. I'm not ranting no more. I just like to be right. And I'm fucking Petty Murphy of his first kind. Petty. Shout out to Baron for for having me say that on one of his skits. Shout out to my brothers, man. Yo, Bloody, man. How did you feel about this Jez Corden, whatever the hell his name is? And he got checked by, hold on, let's go back to the name. Hold on, let's go back. He got checked by Matthew Ball and motherfucking Destin. Yo, I was like, yes! Shout out to Destin. I got to get Destin on the show, too. Facts. I'm going to get Destin up here. Shout out to my brother, man. But go ahead.
Like, Destin's a dope dude. I was like, I finally got to sit down. Me and him had a chat when we were over there at SGF. I was like, I was cutting it up with him. I was like, he's like I said, out of all the
Regular,
IGN dudes,
regular.
he's the one that I respected the most.
Yeah, regular dude. Regular. I don't care what
Mm-hmm.
y'all say about him. Yo, listen, I told people about Jeff Kelly during 2018 E3. I met Jeff Kelly, man. We had great conversations. And 2019, we had great conversations. I don't have a problem with Jeff. I don't know why Xboxers do. Listen, he grew up on PlayStation. Why the fuck are you mad at him for having a preference? I know.
And that's the thing, right? I was like, all of us have a preference.
Everybody got a preference, right?
If you're my only stance, right, is that you can have a preference, completely fair, but don't discredit or try to take away from the other platforms.
Yep.
I was like, complete when you're, especially if you're in a professional environment. I was like, and you're hosting a show like he does, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let everyone showcase and get everyone a fair shot. I was like, if it's gonna be on other places, mention that. Don't leave certain information.
Can I ask you a
But
question?
I got nothing but respect for him.
Can I ask you a question,
got to talk with
Bloody?
him finally, when we was at FanFest, me and him cut it up. He really is a dope dude. I absolutely respect him as an individual. I was like,
yo, can I ask you a question, Bloody? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Where was Series X shown at?
It was shown at the Game Awards.
Oh, okay. But it's a PlayStation show, right?
Because that was when we saw the Power Your Dreams trailer.
But continue. Let's talk about this Jez going. We're gonna keep it pushing.
And that was my stance on that. Jez, I'm friends with Jez, right? I've talked with him on.
You're friends?
Me and him. I was like, me. And
You're friends too?
Chatted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was like, me and him have chatted over the years and stuff like that on a lot of personal things.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, and he does have opinions that I do respect. I have agreed with and stuff from the past. Me and him have had. Obviously, you know my stance on a lot of things, Japanese support and a lot of things. He was one of those people who helped boost my words and stuff like that I brought up, and he's referenced me once or twice. I was like, but also taking those same talking points and helped to bring more attention to those opinions that I thought and wanted more out there, right? So I agree with him on those, but just like everyone, I don't agree with everything that he says.
But you don't agree with everything I say, and we boys.
You don't have to agree with everything.
Right.
You're right.
Right.
Me and you don't agree on everything.
That's what I'm saying.
You've been rocking together
10 years.
Exactly. I was like, and I was like, and I've called you out on some of your stuff, just like you've called me out. And I was like, and at the end of the day, sometimes it's like, hey, we agree to disagree.
That's right.
I was like, you have valid points, I have valid points. That's it. Be what it be. This is one of those ones where I'm just like, there was no truthful foundation that there was a base to make this off of. I was like, sure, like we said, we know he hears things, right? Doesn't mean that everything he hears is right or everything that is even accurate on what's going on. Some of it could be, hey, this was a previous plan, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the case. Now, I was like, that's where, like you mentioned, you have to have journalistic integrity to do the research.
Yeah, you got to do your homework.
I was like, you can't take the first word and say, that's it. No, you need to at least have other people from other spots who can corroborate that. It's like the whole thing that we've heard like the past week about all these studios getting cut and being sold and all this, that, and the third. I'm just like, why do y'all think this division is being sold off? I was like, revenue that it does, and it is the second most profitable part of Microsoft. Why would they give away money, let alone who can even pay what that team is worth?
Yo, shout out to Kindred in the chat. I see you, my God. But let me tell you something else, Bloody. Or let me ask you something else, right? When you have integrity, listen, if something's negative, fucking report it, but do some fucking homework. And I'm never going to say what my brother Hip Hop tells me. Hip Hop pulled me and Hoggy to the side and gave us some exclusive shit. Now, if I was a fucking thirst bag, the first thing I would do is open my mouth and run straight to my channel to try to grow. I'm sitting on some shit that you like, wow. But you don't see me running to the internet or tweeting about it on X. You don't see me saying shit until I get the green light, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that I know. There's a lot of things I know because I'm in the right circles, right? Sometimes, you could talk about it. sometimes you cannot. But I'm gonna say this. Shout out to Trey Bone in the chat. Let me say this for the record. See, Jez is on Windows Central, which is not a Windows channel. It's not affiliated Windows. They just cover Windows. So they says Windows Central. On the PC side, I rock with them more than the gaming side, because the gaming side is really hit and miss. And Jez does do some great things, right? He does some good things. He's not an all-around fuckboy all the time, right? He's not. But it's the doom and gloom aspect that he does that I don't like. You know, you just cast a shadow over Xbox that wasn't true, and people ran with that shit. Let me see something. Cygnus said, Jez said, the reason Xbox games struggle is because developers live in a constant uncertainty. Really? Oh, this is why I fuck with my chat. This is why I fuck with my chat. I'm going to show you something that is not, this is why if you pay attention to my titles, it's always very subjective and impactful to what we talk about. I'm going to show you companies this generation who has destroyed developers, and they don't get the same work. But look, listen, let me finish. Not to say Jez is the complete bad guy, but the reason. Hold on, let me finish. Let me finish.
Bad opinion.
Listen.
Everyone took as a fact. And
No. He made it a fact.
But that's what I'm saying is that
he didn't.
took a
If
bad
he had
opinion
said,
and made it a fact that people ran with it. That's
if
what I'm
he
saying.
would have
I was
said,
like,
in my opinion, that's different.
Exactly. He didn't
do
point
that
it as an opinion, and that's the thing. He pointed it as a later, and that's why I said he took a bad fact or bad opinion. I was like, because we know it now, it's his opinion, right? But he made it a fact, and people ran with it, and I don't agree with that.
Right.
I was like, because now all you've been hearing for almost a whole week straight is, oh, Xbox is doing this, Xbox do that. Like I said, they say, oh, they're gonna spin off Xbox, they're gonna sell it. Who can afford that? Entire umbrella.
And then they started throwing out names. And then they started throwing out names.
Who are they gonna sell to? PlayStation barely can afford themselves. I was like, Sony is bleeding money in all their other industries.
They haven't even paid off Bungie.
Is their gaming division.
But they haven't even paid off Bungie's debt with purchasing Bungie. We ain't gonna even go there, man. But listen, let me get to this other situation that my man Cygnus was talking about, right? What you saying or what he said don't make no sense. Because if you listen to the last regime, a.k.a. Sarah Bond and Phil Spencer said, I'm giving these developers creative freedom to do projects that they want. That's why we got Killing. And I say you should kill, whatever the fuck it's called. Oh, and you should kill it. They should no longer be allowed to spend money that is not going to be for something that's, listen, kill 'em, whatever the fuck you want to call it. That game did a triple, quadruple backflip into being bronze. I played it on Game Pass. I said, this ain't for me. Maybe a fun game, but this ain't for me. I said that about many other games, and then I end up enjoying them. But I'm going to say this for the record. Phil Spencer have given him, and Cygnus, you got to say this. Phil Spencer has liberally gave these developers room to do pet projects, as you call them. So once again, Jez is still fucking wrong. Ninja Theory has made one fucking game series since they've been started. One. They let Rare rock for 20 years without a fucking hit.
I was like, yeah, Rare has done what over the past
until
decade?
Sea of Thieves,
like, they were not,
which I love Sea of Thieves, right?
Sea
Fun
of
games.
Thieves was a passion project that just happened to
blow up
to the level
right.
that it has.
So once again, he's wrong. There's no pressure. He said, yo, I want them to have creative freedom. Fuck that. Y'all tell them what they should be making. and let's get it cracking. Because giving them a pass and an open checkbook has not worked. It hasn't. We're not talking about the Gears 4s and Halos. We're not talking about that. We're talking about these pet projects. Bleeding Edge. I like Bleeding Edge. I interviewed him in 2019. Go check my receipts. I got the whole Ninja Theory team that made that game. I brought in 100 NK Mega on that interview. That was my interview. Go check the receipts. And how did Bleeding Edge do? I know the servers are still on, unlike Concord. But it didn't do what it didn't do what they said. But you know what? Let me since we want to talk facts here, let's fucking bring up the facts. Hold on. Everybody's under the gun. Since 2020, these are the companies that have shut down the studios, the most studios. Embracer Group. 44 studios. 44. That is quadruple everybody else. Nobody says shit because Embracer Group is not a video game company. They just want to invest to make money off of video games.
They're an investment group.
They don't give a fuck. They just want to make $1. Let's go to PlayStation. PlayStation has shut down 8 developers. 8 that they purchased. Shout out to Porter Rock, who said, oh, they're shutting down mad developers, and it was fake news. And you know what kills me about dudes like that? Why didn't you go make a rebuttal video and say, yo, that wasn't even true? Mm-hmm. Where the fuck is your integrity, Porter Rock? It wasn't even true. They ain't shut down shit yet. They was talking to them, and she's revamping the situation. As the fuck she should. What have you done for me lately? Attitude. But now let's go to Xbox. 4. They shut down 4 developers this generation. Ubisoft, 5. Where?
And you know what? We can name all.
Listen,
exact.
hold on. But let me.
Xbox.
I'm gonna let you go right now. But let me say this for the record. Where is the negative energy for PlayStation? Embracer Group, Ubisoft. Shout out to Crash Out in the building. What's good, peoples? Nick's a champ. Shout out to you, bro. I hope you celebrating like a motherfucker. I hope you was in that parade, not acting crazy, but celebrating. But look, where is the energy for fucking PlayStation from Greg Miller? Where? They about to shut down some more shit. But Xbox is at the bottom of the barrel in terms of shutting down developers. Yeah, they made some layoffs, but everybody did. This whole generation is screwed up. From games being too expensive to people getting laid off. It's a whole bunch to RAM going expensive, but bloody, man, chime in, talk to me. Where's the energy for PlayStation?
It's not there. And that's the thing that I absolutely hate. I was like, it's like I said, it is selective ignorance, and it's absolutely ridiculous. I've said how I
got you, Tarzan.
Here's 3 companies that I said that I do not trust in the gaming industry. And I've stood on that. Embracer Group is the top of the top because of the fact that half of the studios that we met, developers that we know that got bought up by Embracer, were shut down within a year after being acquired and no longer own the IPs that they have. I was like, that's the thing, is that they bought these studios, shut them down, and took ownership of those IPs. I was like, and that has left many of those games completely without any support. After that is Tencent, and then after them is NetEase. I was like, both of those being Chinese investment groups. And we know Tencent is in everything. I was like,
yeah,
NetEase has a lot.
Yeah, you know,
like, NetEase is better, right? I was like, but they have bought up projects and then shut those things down after pulling support.
Yeah, listen,
some for the better, some not so much.
I was on somebody's show, right? And I said, You don't even know who Tencent is. They was like, what? I said, yo, they're just an investment group. Go look at the end credits of the last Terminator movie. They are the ones who put the money up. You like, what? Terminator? Yeah, fucking Terminator. American fucking action sci-fi movie. Tencent put their dollars and cents to that because they just want to make money. They don't care. They'll buy property, they'll buy planes, anything to generate money, they will do. And this is what I try to tell people. See, this is why you got people who do journalistic homework like your boy Lemon, because I look into situations. I don't just go out and say, Xbox dead and they don't got games. Okay, show me why they ain't got games. Show me the reason they don't got games. PlayStation is going back to PC. Well, show me why they're going back to PC. We just don't say anything around here. And this
cut off, Lem.
Oh, okay. And this is what's crazy. This is what's crazy. Hopefully it comes back on. Oh, it froze. That's the app that did that. But this was crazy. Let me end the app. This was crazy with that. People don't have no integrity. That's what it boils down to. No,
They don't, and it's absolutely infuriating that you can't be honest about what's going on and it's just taking false information. Like I said, we know how this industry works, right? We've been around, we have friends.
Thank you,
in this
chat.
industry.
Appreciate that.
We don't like anyone to ever be without work. So
Mhm.
the fact is that if you're going to be completely disingenuous about things that affects people's daily lives, their livelihood, at least have some sort of semblance of integrity about being honest about who might be affected, right? Here's the thing. We mentioned about the passion projects and wanting to change that. You're right. I was like, there is a time and place where you can have that. You know, we saw how it is with the free money being able to do whatever they want. Some have worked out, some have not, right?
Right.
We saw with Tango Gameworks, right? After they made Evil Within 2, they went out and made
Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush. Absolutely wonderful game, successful, great. Unfortunately, they got that axe.
They got
right?
that axe because Microsoft didn't buy ZeniMax for them. They didn't want them.
I said personally that Tango was going to be a dark horse that could make some great things. We saw what Hi-Fi Rush did. We saw what Tokyo Ghostwire did. But the fact is that they weren't a main priority.
Nope.
I was like, and they got an axe.
That's why they right.
Even though they got allowed to make a passion project like Hi-Fi Rush and it was
Facts,
great,
Yobi.
didn't mean that it worked out for them.
Facts,
And that
Yobi.
sucks. I was like, a lot of great. There have been other successful passion projects that have come out, right, from small teams. Doesn't mean every one of them is profitable or sustainable. Look at Everwild. We talked about Rare. Rare and Everwild was a how many year project? That was supposedly a passion project.
Seven.
That was costing how much?
Yeah.
Before it finally got canceled.
And you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? People didn't even know what Everwild was. When Microsoft canceled that shit, when Microsoft canceled Project Dark, that was a fake ass trailer. What you thought was gonna happen?
Yeah, Perfect Dark. Yeah.
I'm Project Dark, Perfect Dark, which we had us all excited. Then all of a sudden the game disappears. Listen, Microsoft is a $1 trillion company because they know how to fucking get the bag. They're not going to be losing bags. And people got to understand, they're reforming the country. They're reforming the company. And Phil Spencer, I always said this to my man King. I told somebody, I respect Phil Spencer. I've been in party chats with him. Good dude. Motherfucker, start kicking people in the ass. Stop giving away the money. Put your feet down and say, yo, put up or shut up. Show me why you get in the bag. Because like I said, Rare got the bag for 20 years, and you can't name 20 years worth of fucking games. Minus Sea of Thieves. Name a Rare game since they bought them from Nintendo. They didn't even do Killer Instinct. Iron
Galaxy
Galaxy
had to
did
do
that. Right. Come on. What the
I
fuck
was
are
like,
y'all
and
doing?
they still haven't got the call back to do the sequel that we've all been waiting for a decade for, which
What?
we should have had.
What?
No, Killer Instinct. I was like, we should have had a sequel. I was
well,
like, they should have been done callback because people have been asking for it for a decade.
yeah, listen. Yo, no, Scalebound, but
here's-
Scalebound, you know, hold on. Let me tackle what Talos said, man, because you know I fuck with the chat all the time. Talos, Scalebound is a platinum situation. That is a hired entity outside of Xbox. That's different. But you see what Xbox did to them when they don't own them? They axed them motherfuckers immediately. They ain't even wait. If they would have been first party,
that was a Hideki issue.
yo, listen, Hideki's a problem. And his drunken sake ass, he took that money and made Nintendo games. First of all, you lucky Microsoft didn't sue you under fucking Mount Hiroshima. Because I'd have sued Mount Fuji. I'd have sued the shit out of you for that. You took our money and made Nintendo projects.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, listen, that's stealing. You can call it what you want. But listen, we got to keep it pushing, bloody. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna touch real quick. I was like I said, some passion projects are great. Shout out to Sears right there. South of Midnight was a small team from Compulsion who had a respect and appreciation for the South.
Facts.
Right? They did their work and that game
Facts.
was lauded. I was like,
Facts.
doesn't always mean that it's profitable, but it is one of those successful titles.
It did
Here's
sell
the thing.
500K, even though it was on Game Pass, still sold 500K.
It was still selling. Here's the thing. I was like, I don't think we're gonna see studio shutdowns. We're just gonna see shrinkage, right? I think that's the biggest thing is that we're gonna see unfortunately, we're gonna see layoffs, and I hate that fact, but I think that's where it's gonna be. I think Asha's gonna come from the fact of like, if you want a team that can make a passion project or anything, I need y'all to put out something that's successful and will make money first before I allow y'all to do something else.
Facts.
It's gonna be like
Facts.
you have to have something successful making money before you'll get anything to do all these smaller projects, right? Because you got to be bringing in money before us to be spending money on it. And I think that's where it needs to be. And I was like, and that's not to say that I didn't enjoy all the smaller titles we saw. I was like, half of the games that we have right now that have become staples started small. Hell, look at State of Decay. State of Decay came out as a indie game on the arcade back in the 360.
Facts.
And it's gotten to the level that it is.
But you know what? But you know what? Part 2 been broken for years. No. That shit is unacceptable.
They supported it. They've completely reworked on it for better part of 8 years and have over 35 updates.
Yeah, facts. But listen, man, let me get to the. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying that's where it's at, and that's where it needs to be. I was like, we can support smaller projects if there's a big project bringing in money to support that team. I think the biggest thing is that we're gonna see more shrinkage instead of straight cuts.
Yeah, facts.
I think that's where things are gonna be.
Let me get to the chat with Bold Apple. He said, Lemon. He said, yo, they said it was creative differences. He said, come on, Lemon. Now, fuck that. You got to create something for there to be a difference. I'm going to tell you something that's crazy. I can say it now because we outside. That game dead. I saw Scalebound. Not Scalebound. What was it called again? Scalebound, right?
Yeah, Scalebound, the Platinum Project, yeah.
I saw that game. Bloody didn't get to see it. It was only like 7, maybe 8 of us in there behind closed doors. I'm going to say this. That game ran like dog shit. That shit was running like 5 frames a second. What happened, what you saw on screen, Coalition and a couple other groups came through and tightened tightened up that trailer, that frame rate, for you to see what you saw. Platinum Games didn't do shit with that shit. That shit was like in a super alpha stage. The shit you saw on screen was a super Microsoft Studios game work fix, so they could display that game in a good light. We was asked not to say nothing. NDA, King saw it, Cog saw it. Listen.
I remember you telling me about
it. Yeah, I was like, that game did not look like that when I saw it, and I saw it like maybe 40 minutes before y'all saw it. And This is what's saying. Shout out to my boy, Blah, Blah, Blah. My boy Blunty in the chat. Bomba clat. Let me say this. A lot of things are smoke and mirrors. By the time it touched the front of your cell phone, to be on YouTube, to be on Twitter, to be on Reddit, to be on whatever platform you support these. Listen, being a content creator, a YouTube journalist, because that's what I am. That's what Bloody is. That's what Iron Lords is. That's what Hip Hop is. We are content creator / journalists. You get to see a lot of shit. You get to see games. Shout out to Steel Facts in the chat. Yeah, Ninja Game was fire, and it still is fire.
And not only
hold on. Let me finish.
Yeah.
But the point is, this is what people don't understand. And a lot of times we're not allowed to say shit because you don't want to be blackballed. You want to continue your foot to be able to walk through that door. So you can't go out there and run your mouth, right? Like I said, Hip Hop told me and Hoggy, and I'll give you the names. Hip Hop and Hoggy, Hip Hop told us some shit, right? But we don't go out there and blab our mouth. We not the Jez Gordons, man. As soon as you hear something, I'm reporting it. But you know, shout out to Destin. For giving out that smoke. Hold on, let's do that again. Shout out to Destin giving out that smoke. Shout out to Destin. But I'm going to say this for the record. I'm going to say this for the record.
You're not wrong, right, about this, about what we've seen in the spots and opportunities that we've had.
Yeah.
I was like, and you're right. We've seen a lot of stuff before.
Yeah.
Y'all see it.
Yeah.
I was like, not only are we not allowed to talk about it, there's even times, in some cases, I know I've been a part of it, where not only have I seen stuff, I've gotten to actively play and support development doing not necessarily QA work, right? But it's early beta testing, doing feedback, and have been credited in a few projects. There's a few projects that are coming out this year that you're gonna see your boy's name in, right? And I was like, and it's not a small project, it's a couple big ones.
Let's go.
But the thing is, I can't say
let's go
what they are because of the fact of what I've been signed to.
Yo, do you like doing what you do, Bloody?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't got diarrhea of the lips?
Not at all. I was like, I'm not gonna say, but I will say that it is probably one of my favorite genres because everyone knows that your boy loves Cthulhu, and there's a lot of Cthulian games coming out, right?
You gotta explain. Everybody don't know what that is. You gotta explain that.
So for those who don't know about Cthulhu, that is
quick.
I was like, that's H.P. Lovecraft stuff. So anything about Cthulhu and a lot of those eldritch horror kind of stuff, right? I was like, and there's quite a few games coming out that are around that style of mythos. But there's a couple big ones specifically, and you will see your boy's name in the credits for supporting those titles. I was like,